That's really you, right, Doug?
Back in the day, yes, absolutely.
Back in the day. I feel so far removed from punk rock. I don't even know how to move when I hear that music. It's like, what was I supposed to do there?
Yeah, you're just supposed to be in a dark club with a bunch of angsty teenagers kind of running into each other.
And so you and your band did this for a few years, right? That seems like a tidbit that everybody at Unify should know about you, and for the day that we have in-person gatherings again, right?
Yeah, maybe someday. Yeah, once we have our events, if we can all get back together again, I'll break it out again.
Very cool. Well, there's a few things that we want everybody to know about you. I'm Shelba Brinkman, an OE consultant, and I'm introducing Doug Chartier to the team. Doug's our new practice director in San Francisco. And there's a few more things that, as I talked to him, I thought that would be really fun for not just me, but everybody else to know. So Doug will jump in.
Thanks, Shelbra. Yeah, definitely looking forward to this.
Very cool. So here's the more formal slide that we put together to introduce you, Doug, but that music was the prelude to it all. So welcome to Unify.
Thank you. Yeah, it's great to be here.
Yeah. So here's a few photos that I put together based on our conversations, and what they all have in common is that you have a link to everything in this. Why don't you talk us through a few of the things?
Yeah, thank you. And this was a fun walk down memory lane for me. But in being asked to pull some of these together, thought I'd share some tidbits. One, I think that's maybe interesting to some folks is on the left. I spent my formative years as a kid growing up in Saudi Arabia, in a small island called Bahrain. My dad was part of the oil industry back in the late 70s, early 80s, and I was able to have some interesting experiences growing up in a compound out in the Middle East. Looking across this nice board that we've compiled here. Also sharing, after that, I moved to sunny San Diego and found a passion for surfing and bodyboarding, which basically occupied all my time from when I was a young kid all the way up to my mid 20s, and was able to actually make it up the ranks and got some sponsors and was on the professional tour for a little while.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to tell us that you were a pro, right?
Yeah, I guess so. You know, it's not as cool as it sounds, and one of the reasons I quit was is impossible to make a living off it. So I went on to
It looks fun though. It looks like huge fun for a lot of good years.
Yeah, definitely like a behavior and a thing that I carry with me today, and something that's worth sharing with my kids too.
And we dropped in Australia because when I asked you, you're such an intrepid traveler and where you really love to go, Australia was one of the places that came up. And then I dropped in San Francisco because that's where you live now, right? And George Washington, why is George Washington University there other than I know, but
Yeah. So after I graduated from undergrad, I ended up going to grad school in GW, which is, for most of you to probably know, this is in the heart of DC. So I spent some time there as a graduate student, but also was employed by them as a professor or a teacher, doing one-on-one stats for psychology majors and analyzing data and that sort of thing. So yeah, I spent some good time in DC as well, which is great.
So you're our go-to person or one of them for statistics. And then really maybe the heart of this slide is right there at the bottom center, right?
Yeah.
Wife and two daughters and your
absolutely.
golden retriever.
Yeah, and this is our tribe and the crew that kind of keeps me occupied. But yeah, that's my wife Marisa, my two daughters Lisa and Emma. Lisa who's 12 and Emma who's 10. And then our recent addition to the family, which is like many people during COVID, got the COVID pup. So that's Duncan, and he's a 9-month-old golden retriever currently. Lots of fun.
Very cute, very, very cute. I know that when you were interviewing at Unify, you shared some of the things that you had passion for, and we're going to see that in another slide. But as I thought about, well, this is what you've had in the past and some in the present, I know that I wanted to also talk about what you're focusing your time on.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I felt like going through the interview process at Unify was a really good opportunity for me to reflect and paint a picture of some things that I think make me sort of who I am and sort of describe how I tick. So here was really an extract from that interview, and really the point being is had an opportunity to work in consulting for quite a number of years, and had a variety of experiences across all industries, strategic and operational projects. Last 10 years or so, I've been in a practice leadership role, which is focused on building out our practice, helping develop people, sell projects, sell solutions, and then ultimately deliver those solutions. And what I was excited about, with Unify was bringing all these experiences to a growing market here in the Bay Area, and joining a team of folks who are kind of equally as experienced, and joining this group as a member to help grow and evolve our brand, and create meaningful experiences for myself, our consultants, and learn a bunch of stuff as we go along the way. So yeah, I was really happy to have a chance to share that during my interview, and yeah, happy to share some of this information as part of this, Shelby.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
I loved the banner at the bottom. Been through many cycles of the great, the good, the average, the bad, and the ugly. It's like, oh yeah, so true, right?
Yeah, totally.
That's
Yeah,
what that's what won us a seat at Unify, right? Or earned us a seat at Unify, I think. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, and like all of us and most of us, like I'll say the experiences in the bad and the ugly are the opportunities we learn the most from. And I look fondly back on those long nights, traveling too much, too many difficult client conversations, but ultimately those are the things that I think make you better. So yeah,
Yeah, they,
absolutely.
they make you sharper. You learn the most.
Yeah, absolutely.
Today, though, we find you focused on these things at Unify, right? As you and I were talking.
Yeah, and really what I wanted to highlight here is, I've got a lot to learn about Unify. I have a lot to learn about how we operate in our market, who our teams are, who our people are. But some of the themes that I'm keeping in my mind, the top of my radar, are really helping me understand what the rhythm of business here is at Unify, like how we operate, what discussions happen when, with whom. As all this is a people business, I'm continuing to focus on building my relationships, both inside and outside Unify. Part of my role here is to also develop business and bring contacts and opportunities I have into our pipeline. Be part of those teams. With that comes hopefully closing deals and giving us all cool projects to work on. Yeah, and then similarly, like our craft is consulting and project delivery. So wanting to support our clients and delight our clients through delivery. But the thing that I really am, I think, most passionate about, and that kind of gives me energy, is supporting our teams, both like peers and consultants, and helping each other kind of elevate, and ultimately growing our team, both in terms of numbers, but also growing our team in terms of how we show up, what we can do, kind of what opportunities are presented us, and doing it in a way that's fun and exciting.
Yeah, very cool. Thank you. And I know this is another slide from your interview deck when you were talking with our leadership at Unify. A couple things on this page I think you wanted to, especially speak to. I noticed the one about the teams, and so I put that in bold. But where do you want to go here, Doug?
Yeah, no, thanks for teeing this up. And there are a lot of words and lines and circles on this slide, and we're all good good at building slides, I guess, as part of our job. But for me, like anchoring in the why, one of the things that I've really appreciated about my experience as a consultant, and at least others who brought me along, was I'll call it like demystifying like our business. And when I learned that we could all have a role in contributing to all parts of our business, whether it's delivery, whether it's sales, whether it's practice operations, whether it's helping those folks feel connected to a broader sort of unified community. Really just, my vision is that at some level we all have ownership and we all participate in the parts of the business that get us excited. And I wanted to, really anchor on that as an opportunity for me to grow into these areas. But also as I think about how we grow our OE practice in the market, really want folks to feel empowered to be champions of all these activities. And I think the consulting space provides a great place to see how a business runs, soup to nuts. So really wanted to just anchor on that. The enablers and the plot the path, these are all like consulting things, but like, it's making sure that all the pieces are defined, they're working together in unison, and we're making traction across all these fronts in terms of our clients, our solutions, our people, and our sense of community and connectivity. So wanted to kind of lay that out there, and this is helpful for me as I navigate my first couple months here at Unified.
Yeah. Well, welcome. Glad you're here. It's been fun getting to know you as we've worked on creating this little project. And as we talked about, the water's been great so far, right? And here's to looking at more great water for you and for all of us at Unified.
Yeah, I really appreciate this, and it's been really fun to work on this as well. And I hope this lands well, and like the production value is good, which I know it will be. But it was really fun, and to just appreciate the space to share some information about me.
Thanks so much, Doug. Talk to you later.
Yep. Talk to you later. Bye bye.
Bye.